going on? It is 12 noon on Friday, which means it's time for this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Carismo, and the show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time to help you understand the technical side of the real estate industry and masterminding to grow your real estate business. And what we're specifically focused on today are the different business roles that are necessary to achieve your business goals. Especially when you're starting out in real estate, there's a lot of different hats it is that you wear. You know, we like to say that there's 5 things you need to learn to master real estate, and that's number 1, real estate, but number 2, sales, number 3, marketing, number 4, business, and number 5, investing. And those pillars of success require some different perspectives on some things, some different understandings. You know, someday you might be wearing your salesperson hat, but other days you'll be wearing your marketing hat. And other days you'll be wearing your CEO hat, your business-minded hat. And eventually, maybe someday, if you're not doing it already, you might be wearing your real estate investor hat. And all these hats all fall under you wearing your bigger real estate hat. But what specifically is that business need there? And what do some of these different roles look like? And then what are the opportunities to build something bigger than yourself in real estate? Building a real estate team, building a larger organization, building a real estate brokerage even. How is it that you put these pieces together? And you got to know what they are. So that's what we're talking about today. So if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, if you've got more specific questions, call us up. We have advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. That phone number is 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. You'll see it at the bottom of the screen. You can also check us out on our website at tampaschool.com, tampaschool.com. But let's get down to today's topic on business roles and business goals. My name is John Carismo, and you're watching State of Real Estate.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Carismo, and this show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. Again, we're here every single Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time. If you guys like today's episode, the business side of real estate, about understanding what it takes to set up a real estate business, and what are the different roles of a business, so that way you can figure out the goals of that business. If you like today's topic, make sure to hit that thumbs up button so we know to do more videos just like this, because this is how we help you guys grow into bigger, better, more effective professionals. We're here every single week to help you grow your business, and we want to make content that appeals to you, that can help you grow your business. So if you like today's topic, hit the thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed. Hit that little notification icon, that little bell icon, so that way you do not miss out on any of the info that we have whenever it is we have new content to share. But let's get right into the roles. Because before we even talk about the goals, we need to talk about the people that are required to get there. Now, the great thing about real estate is you could do all of these roles. There's so many real estate professionals out there that are one-man or one-woman operations where it's a one-person team. And I say that as a one-person team because that one person is performing multiple roles. So what do those different roles look like? So we could think, very basically in the terms of practicing real estate, because remember, we have those different pillars of success, and one of those is real estate. So you need to know how to help somebody buy a house. But if we're talking about this in terms of roles, it's not about buying a house, it's about being a buyer's agent. And then there's also the listing agent, if you're working with sellers. You're like, all right, John, this better not be what I'm tuning in to this live stream for. I know that there's listing agents and buyer's agents. Well, no. Not everybody is just one or the other. Most people, when they're starting out in real estate, as well as a lot of people as they still continue to practice real estate, work with both buyers as well as sellers. Now, there are some people that do like to pick and choose. They can establish themselves and position themselves to tailor themselves one way or the other. And it's not the worst idea. Now, when you're starting out, again, you're trying you're in startup mode, you're trying to get everything going, everything moving in the right direction. You don't want to be turning away business for any reason whatsoever. So you never want to have to turn away business, but what if you don't want to work with buyers when you just want to be a listing agent? Well, unless you physically cannot work with that buyer. And even if that situation presents itself, find somebody you could team up with that you could both work on these buyers together on. Because your listings, when done appropriately, will generate an extensive amount of buyer leads if they're marketed appropriately. And we're going to get to marketing and the roles you have to play as a marketer. But this is the roles you play, again, initially practicing real estate. But what is it that goes into being a good buyer's agent or a good listing agent? How do you get those clients in the first place? Well, that's going to be your sales role, your networking, possibly. Because maybe you're cold calling people, maybe you're just going out knocking on doors, maybe you're out on the corner with a sign, say, hey, ask me about real estate. Anything where you're getting face-to-face, that would be the sales, where you're actually directly going out there to try to sell. And that would be, again, cold calling, door knocking, out by the road with a sign, anywhere it is you could get around people and not make small talk, but go directly to your pitch. That would be sales. Your networking role, that's going to be for the situations where they're going to throw you out if you're just going around like trying to sell everybody it is that you talk to. So the networking, maybe that's some sort of event, some sort of function, and that's where you've got to finesse in your sales skills. You have to build it to a sales conversation, but that's where the networking can come into this here. And now, how else can you get new leads? Well, marketing is a great way, a very powerful way to get leads. However, it is expensive, especially when you're starting out. So marketing is something I would tread lightly at first until you really get the hang of these other roles that you have to perform. Because one of the mistakes I made when I got my real estate license initially, so I went to school for marketing. I love marketing to this day, and I still study the subject and try to learn more, as you should, and whenever you're trying to grow your businesses, real estate or otherwise. It's a very important topic for all aspects of business. But I was so hung up on the marketing side, and the marketing alone will not make you a successful real estate agent. Because if you don't know how to be a buyer's agent or a seller's agent, a listing agent or a buyer's agent, then what does it matter how many people you could reach? What does it matter how many people know who you are if you don't know how to service them? So you can't just play the role of the marketer. And that was one of the mistakes that I made. I didn't seek out the information and knowledge that I needed to be able to do these other roles effectively. And part of it, I just thought, I'm just going to market really good, and that's all real estate is marketing. Well, no, it's not just marketing. Today I try to pin it down to, again, real estate, sales, marketing, business, and investing. But we could probably even expand that list even deeper if we really start thinking about all the factors that go into building a successful real estate empire. This isn't even just for building a career. You want a career, you want a job, then you could just be a buyer's agent. And just do that and not do these other roles. Now, how do you do that without, having to manage all these other roles? Well, that's where there's teams out there. There's teams that have buyer's agents or listing agents. The listings are usually the more coveted position because on average, you probably heard me say these statistics before, but working with a seller on a listing is on average 8 hours of working time, whereas working with a buyer is on average 24 hours of working time. And, one of the frustrations a lot of people have in this current market right now, at least here in Florida, is being able to get property. Property's in so demand right now here in Florida, it's ridiculous. But that might even be making this even longer. It could actually be shorter because if you do win one of these bids because you've got a buyer that's serious and is willing to pay what's necessary to get a property. But now going after listings, and this is the reason why there is such a shortage of demand, is there's not listings out there. So the market needs people that could help people make sense of selling their home, of trading up, about moving into something bigger, capitalizing on the appreciation that's occurred. Because if you look at what's going on in Florida, in the Tampa Bay area, as well as most of the country, I would say, now some of the other states might not be doing as well as Florida is. Florida has got a massive influx, a massive swing over the last year of a lot of wealth moving to Florida. There's a lot more money circulating through Florida than there was not too long ago. So with that, that creates much, much more opportunity if you know how to capitalize on it. You know, that's one of your roles as well as a learner. That's one of your lifelong roles, in addition to a marketer, is a learner, because that's how you figure out all these different things. Now, eventually, you start to become more of a CEO. Now, when you're just a one-person operation, and I've seen this before with people, and you know, at one point I did do this before, and maybe that's why I don't like this when I see people do this, but when people are, you know, if you're just a one-person operation and your business card says you're the CEO of this organization, well, what is the organization? It's an organization of yourself. But it's easy for people to think of themselves as a CEO because they're the one that is responsible for all of these different roles, and that CEO cap. So as we start to get into the business side of things, the CEO it's a cap you have on from day one. Of course, you're the CEO if you're the only one involved in your business. Even if you're, again, a sales associate at a broker, you're still an independent contractor. You're still a business within a business, and you have your own business that you're running within that brokerage. If you don't treat it like a business, it won't pay you like a business. The rewards that are out there, the opportunities that are out there to make these massive sums of money in real estate is not just if you're trying to do just the bare minimum average amount of work. And it's not even about doing more work because there's only so many hours in the day, and that's what the business side of things allows you to capitalize on is the money that you make. You could reinvest into your business, and now rather than you being the salesperson, that's how most real estate teams get started. They start bringing on buyers agents because agents figure out this number here, that on average it's a third of the amount of time. So if you're looking for the most efficient way to run your real estate business and you could structure your business to target sellers or target listings, well, that does make sense. But you do have to have an answer for what you're going to do with those buyers. And that might start out of you just teaming up with another agent and you just, you know, working out some sort of deal with them for your buyer leads that your listing is generating. But let's say that you're really doing a good job at the marketing side. And you know, some of these roles you'll continue to do, especially the things that you're good at. The things that you're good at, the things that excite you, the things that make the massive changes in your business, those are the things that you want to lean into as truly the CEO of your business. So if you want to be a CEO and more than just a CEO of yourself, because if you're just a CEO of yourself, I mean, well, you're just yourself. We're all CEOs of ourselves. That's nothing special. But as you start to build something bigger than yourselves, that's where you have to pull off that chief executive officer role, where you're making decisions upon your business. And again, that might just be, you know, teaming up with a buyer's agent to handle the buyers that you don't have time to handle because you're too busy dealing with listings, or you're too busy going after listings. Because maybe you're putting on your sales role and you're going to go out there door knocking. Maybe you just got a listing and you're going to door knock the neighborhood and go talk to everybody and say, hey, my name's John Carissimo. Just listed, just sold. We're holding an open house this weekend. Lots of reasons why you could be there at this door to talk about the neighbor, to talk about this neighbor's property. Hey, come down, check it out. Come down to the open house. Let's get to know you. Let's find out if there's some benefit we could provide you. Let's find out if this makes sense. That's really all real estate is. That's really all the sales is here, is making sense of this. People are already sold on these ideas. We just have to help them make sense of it. We just have to help them understand the decision it is that they're making. And some of those decisions won't be the decisions that you want. They won't be the decisions that grow your business. They'll be a decision that I am not ready. And that's okay. You can get into an argument about why they're not ready, but that's usually not going to make them ready. They truly may not be ready, and that's okay. And that's why, again, getting back to your CEO role, you want to understand the pipeline. That's one of the most important things. And that's also from the sales side as well, because that's you managing your sales department, of you managing the sales person that is yourself. If your sales department is just you, well, that's still a sales department. And you want to be the best sales employee you can for your organization. Just like you want to be the best marketer, just like you want to be the best networker, just like you want to be the best listing agent. And you got to be the best at all these things until you can get other people to be the best with you. You figure out which of these things you really are the best at, and you lean into those, and the things it is that you're not the best at, you find people who are better than you. And that's how you build something so much more powerful than yourself. Some of these other roles it is that you'll have is accounting. That's a business role, is accounting. Now, I would even say maybe reception, but I don't like to use that term because if you consider yourself a receptionist, you're not. You're a salesperson. And salespeople answer their phones. Salespeople don't wait for their phone to ring. They make the calls. They make the calls that they need to make to be the best employee for their organization. Remember, this is your organization. This is your business. And when you put on that salesperson hat, you've got to say, I'm going to be the best salesperson I can be for John Christmas Wink, for whatever it is that you are, whatever your company or organization is. And you might say, going back, if we talk about textbook here, you might say, well, John, do I have to have an LLC or an S Corp or do I do PLLC or PA with my name? Look, that's great. That's good. That's yes, your first, last name, LLC, PLLC, PA, whatever it is, depending on what you're doing. This role right here, the accountant. Accountants cost money. Accountants don't work for free. Or that's what most people think. Most people look at an accountant as an expense. Let me tell you about a big expense that you're going to have in some degree. It's taxes. And having an accountant who can help you maximize the deductions, exemptions, expenses that are available, the credits that are available, can significantly reduce your tax bill, especially if you're looking to become a real estate investor. There's significant tax advantages through investing in real estate, in addition just to running your own business. And this is something, again, so with all this, you have to ask yourself the question of what am I best at? And especially even when you're first starting out, I mean, there's a lot of this stuff that you're doing to build a long-term sustainable business. And when it comes time to do your taxes, to do your accounting, unless you have some sort of tax or accounting background, that is something I would absolutely leave to the professionals. Maybe this costs a couple $100 to get a tax return, maybe $100, $200, something like that, to get an LLC or something like that set up. But usually an accountant, that's going to be a few $100 expenses, at least when you're starting out. But now that's someone you could have on your team that's going to potentially help save you thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes over the life of your real estate career. Now, at the beginning, it's not the biggest concern because you don't really have to worry about taxes until you start actually making money. So that's not something you necessarily need to do on day one, but that is something at some point in your business that as you start to make money, you'll want to make sure that you're taking advantage of the laws that exist for businesses to help businesses grow. If you've got any scruples about taxes and getting deductions or exemptions or anything like that, I knew the news could make this look like a bad thing. But the reason why the IRS tax code is written as the way it is to create opportunities for Americans, and specifically opportunities that help build prosperity. Now, we could argue about the methods and the madness that is the IRS. However, the reason why the tax codes are structured the way they are is, again, to create opportunities, and the United States needs business people. They need people that, right now, the real estate market is in need of listing agents that could help people understand selling their property. You know who's doing a great job of helping people understand selling their property? And I wouldn't even say they're doing a great job, but they're there, is all these little iBuyers, Zillow Instant Offers, OfferPad, Redfin, all these things where they're like, we'll buy your house, we'll buy your house. What's the catch to those We'll Buy Your House Today programs? The We'll Buy Your House Today program is contingent upon you getting some sort of significantly reduced price than what you could if you allowed it the appropriate time on the market to be marketed by a real estate professional. And folks, look, if you guys don't step up and get out there and show people your value, the institutions that are willing to spend millions of dollars on marketing to say, we'll buy your house for cheap, because that's basically what it is, and everybody knows it, and they're getting away with it. They're getting away with it, and some people get in the position to where they have to use that as an option, where they cannot afford to continue to stay in their home. And if you have the capability to serve that person, it is your duty, your obligation to get out there and show them this opportunity to say, hey, look, let's help you get this property sold before you need to get out and you need to sell for a loss or sell for less money. And most people, because the market's appreciated so much, people usually have so much equity in their property and they don't even realize it. They don't even realize it because they don't have anybody telling them. They don't have a realtor that's out there knocking on their door saying, hey, do you know how much home values have appreciated in the last year? Have you done any research on what your home is worth? Have you had an actual market report done on your property? If you guys ever were to move, I mean, where would it be that you would go? Oh, I know you're concerned about the market going down and crashing and everything like that. I completely understand that. And look, I could go on all day about everything going on out there. But to make a long story short, there's a lot of factors that are in place that may cause prices to level off, but we probably are not going to see any significant decline for a very long time based on current market indicators. Now, that could change at any time, but here's one of the things. If prices do go down, usually what happens when prices go down, our interest rates are going to go up. That's usually going along with that in some degree. So while you might save money on the price if prices go down, if interest rates go up, because we have very low interest rates right now that I absolutely recommend you take advantage of, but if those interest rates go up, even if the prices go down, you're still paying the same thing. So why not take time out of the equation? Because what will continue to happen, most likely, what history has always proved true, is that real estate appreciates in value. Sometimes there's some dips, there's some slopes, there's some ups and downs, but you zoom out and you look at a big enough picture. You hold the real estate long enough, even if you buy at the peak of a bubble, that real estate will rebound. It'll take longer when you buy at a peak of a bubble, but it'll still rebound. And because of, especially in Florida, we've got a really something special going on right here with the amount of money that's transferring into Florida right now. That's where, if you study economics and really go in deep of what's actually going on in the real estate market, that's another thing. We're having this discussion right here, and this is me wearing my hat of an economist. Now, that isn't something you might not always, fully understand, at least in the real estate perspective when you're first starting out. But as you start to study the real estate market more and you pay attention to what goes on and how that affects normal everyday people, that's where you can start to paint yourself the picture of what the future looks like and understand what direction the real estate market is going. And so that's your economist role. And again, there's all kinds of different services because, I'm not out there, doing surveys and studying all kinds of different agents and whatnot on a $1 billion scale. No, I just read. I look at industry magazines and I look at stats and I look at people that are already collecting that data and what that data looks like. And that's how you can, outsource that sort of thing. So you don't necessarily have to be an economist that, is running the whole thing. But again, as you learn, as you grow, as you develop, this will really be a powerful tool that you could have to help people understand what that future may look like in real estate or how the decisions they make today may affect their tomorrow. That's really the bigger question. Who cares what's going on in the market? Let's talk about what's going to happen with you. The market's always going to be going one way or the other, but what's going on with you? Because the market is an external factor. And despite what goes on in the real estate market, and that's why there's still these iBuyers out there. If you guys think the market's going to crash, do you think Zillow, do you think OfferPad, do you think all these companies would be spending billions of dollars buying real estate if they thought the market was going to crash? Now, they did suspend buying last year. They did suspend purchasing last year when coronavirus came out and there was all this chaos and concern and so on and so forth. But they've came back with full force and then some. And so these companies, these organizations are buying up property left and right, because they know prices will continue to rise. Or at least that's what everything shows. Who knows? No one has a crystal ball. We can't speak with complete certainty, but we could watch what people with a lot of money are doing in the real estate market, and they're continuing to buy at a faster rate than they ever have before. So if that gives you any indication of what's going to happen, and that, that's going to be me perfecting my sales role because I'm sitting here and managing myself. So that's another role. You've got to be your manager. That's one of the things people probably struggle with the most, is being tough on themselves, of holding themselves accountable. If you've never ran a business before, if you've always had somebody, a manager or supervisor, some sort of higher up that's there to hold you accountable, and that's something that's new to you, trust me, it's something that can be learned. But it's something that will have to be learned, because if you don't hold yourself accountable, there's going to be a lot of balls that get dropped in your business and a lot of things that fall through. So what I might be managing, again, from that sales perspective is, okay, well, John, let me talk to you about the way, and again, I'm just talking to myself here. John, let me tell you about the way it is that you share that information. Now, when you're over here telling them, oh, the market's going to go up, blah, 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 that's not going to really resonate with people. You probably shouldn't say stuff like that because they just think you're some sort of know-it-all. And you want to be able to take a step back and be able to critique yourself like this. How do you do that? Well, I'm basically looking in a mirror right now. I'm watching myself on this video screen right here by the camera, and I do this on a regular basis. And it's really showed me the power of recording yourself and going back and listening and watching yourself and seeing how you speak, the words that you use, the mannerisms that you have, the inflections in your voice, your tone, your canter, your speed, your syntax. There's so many factors that you can perfect if you're willing to get into that role of a manager. How do you do that with yourself? I just told you. Record yourself. Go back and review it and tell yourself what you can do to get better. Figure out what you can do to refine that, to make yourself better. Because if you don't have a manager making sure everybody is improving themselves, all of your split personalities, if they're not all constantly improving themselves, that's going to cause friction in your business, and that's going to cause your business to grow at a slower rate than it could. But, when you're able to sit there and say, John, you can't really just speak with certainty about something that you really don't know. And you're like, all right, you're right, John, I understand that. And I understand if you're having a hard time following me here because I'm just talking to myself. But look, what you should have said then, the second part about how, follow the smart money, look at all these people buying these instant offers and all this big money, these billion-dollar organizations dumping money into real estate. Why are they buying? Well, now that's very obvious. That's not me. That's just me speaking out of things that I just know. No one's got. When you got to say trust me, if whatever it is that you've got to say, you've got to add in a trust me to really sell it. They don't trust you. It's not believable. That's not believable. But what is believable is the actual proof, the actual evidence, the billboards that are out there from Zillow, from OfferPad, from all these different companies that are spending billions of dollars buying real estate, and still to this day, again, at a faster rate than ever had before. So, knowing that information, are you still concerned with the market going down as much? I mean, I can understand there's still a concern, but does that help put your concerns a little more at ease? Notice how that conversation with a potential client is probably going to be a lot more effective than just, now, I know what I'm talking about. The market's not going down. Just trust me. I'm John Carissimo. I'm the guy that's on YouTube. I know what I'm talking about. I'm an economist. That's one of my roles. It just sounds like you're a know-it-all. And you don't want to be a know-it-all because a know-it-all doesn't get the job done. A know-it-all is not a salesperson. A know-it-all is probably the worst thing for a salesperson to be. A lot of salespeople can be know-it-alls, though. But as you grow, as you develop, as you hone in your skills and perfect your craft, that's where you can be truly exceptional. Where you could do all of these things with grace and ease. And maybe not all of these things, but the things it is that you need support on, from your accountant, from, you being a lifelong learner and studying from people who do know what they're talking about when it comes to the real estate market and what it is that you want to keep apprised on. Being a CEO and keeping track of your entire business, but then also being a manager to make your individual roles, especially the ones that you are good at or the ones that are so essential to your business that you need to be good at them, that you're managing yourself to help make yourself better. And you might be wondering, wow, this is a lot for you to do on your own. Absolutely. And that's why, as a new agent, I recommend you join a brokerage that's designed for new agents, and especially one that has much more of a big picture vision as opposed to someone that just says, I'm going to help you sell real estate. Well, that's great. That's great. Every broker should be able to help you sell real estate, help you buy real estate. That's what brokers do. But what is it that this brokerage offers that helps you become the complete package? What is it that you need to learn, that you need to know to really be successful in real estate? Not just be able to sell a house here and there, but to build a business, to build an empire in real estate, because that's what you start investing in real estate, and that's where you're getting on empire status. Because that's when you start to get the money that comes in whether you work or not. Real estate, you could outsource a lot of the stuff, but you usually still have to be involved in some degree, even if you're just like the team leader and you've got all these people that you've got to make sure you just stay on track. That's basically, then you just promote yourself to just being the CEO of that organization at that point. But until you can get to that point, you're still a CEO, you're just a CEO of yourself. Or any of these little affiliated parties. Maybe you're an accountant. I mean, you're an accountant, they're not a direct employee of you. Again, this is some sort of accounting service most likely you're paying for. Again, it's probably going to be a couple $100 a year to get your taxes done. Maybe more as you start to make more money. That seems to be the catch with accountants. As you make more money, it's kind of hard to hide that detail from them. They are the ones kind of doing all the math and all the numbers and all that money, so they do tend to cost a little bit more as your finances become more complex. That's the way they word it there. Yeah, this is way more complicated. It's going to take way more time. Well, yeah, there's way more money you got to go through there. That's why it's going to take way more time. But anyways, these are all the different roles it is that, and I shouldn't say all, because this is not the end of the list here. There's tons of things it is that you do. But if there's two things you want to hone in on, if I could leave you with two things today that you ultimately want to focus on, that if you focus on these two things, you will build a more successful real estate business. And that's number one, getting more clients. What are the number one activities you can be doing right now to help you get more clients? And then number two, how can you provide those clients a better experience? Now, you don't have any clients yet, worry about number one, get more clients. You've already given a great experience to that one client you have. Okay, great, that's only one client. Get more clients. Get more clients, provide them a better experience. And that cycle goes on, and that will eventually scale and grow your business. And then there'll be all these other things that you're worrying about other than just how do I get more clients and how do I provide them a better experience. But you still want to ask those questions, because everything you do should be based around those two things. And if you could do that, everything you do will help you grow your business, to help you, again, get more clients, and then number two, to help provide them a better experience. So look, that's about all the time we've got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week on Wednesday at 12 noon for Ask the Instructor. But if you guys have questions about starting a real estate career, about maybe you just got your real estate license and you don't know where to go next, maybe you need to take the post-licensing course to help understand what you do with your license to actually make money with it. That's what our curriculum for post-licensing at Tampa School is all about, how to actually use your real estate license as a business. Or maybe you just need to do your continuing education. Or maybe you haven't passed your exam yet, and we've got the greatest exam prep tools that exist for the Florida real estate exam. You can find out more about those at passfirsttry.com. But if you have questions, call us. Again, we have advisors standing by to answer any questions you have, assist you in any way that they can. That phone number again is 813-333-2676. Again, 813-333-2676. That's about all the time we've got for today. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and I'll see you on Wednesday for Ask the Instructor. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're gonna love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam, because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com. State of real estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business.
You're watching State of Real Estate. Have you completed your post-licensing education yet? Look, I know you're probably thinking, hey, it's not my renewal deadline, I don't need to do post-licensing yet, but look, here's why you want to do post-licensing as soon as you've got your real estate license, as soon as you're able to take post-licensing. It's not just another course about arbitrary laws that you're never going to use again. It's about real-world, usable topics that'll help you grow your real estate business, to help you take it to the next level. Look, let me ask you this one question. If this course helps you close just one deal, if you get one extra deal from post-licensing, is it worth the investment? I'd say it is. We get paid pretty well, so one deal means a lot of money. Check out postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com for the full details about post-licensing. State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.